What would you guys say the main idea of today's whole read aloud was? Remember, our picture up here can really kind of guide that thinking a little bit. But what would you say it was? Love all these hands. Great work. Apollo, what would you say it was today?
I would say it was how they lived.
Okay, I think that's a huge piece to it. Did we learn about a little bit about their life? Okay. Kaylin? What kind of people are within their society or their community? I think that's a huge piece because we learned about the consuls, the senators, partitions, plebeians, slaves. Great. Joey?
Roman Republic?
Definitely. Did we learn about their whole republic system? We learned about what the consuls did and how they played a part. We learned about the senators. We learned about partitions, plebeians, slaves. So I would definitely say we learned about all the people and kind of how they fit into that Roman Republic, right? So kind of connecting those ideas together. Brock? What the people do in Rome. Now, I think it's important to recognize it's not necessarily what they do because we didn't learn about their jobs per se. But we learned about the consuls and the senators' jobs, but it wasn't necessarily what they do. It was kind of how they worked as a system, right?
How people were and how they were treated?
Who people were, how they were treated, definitely, right? Because were some people treated better than others?
Yes.
Who were probably the highest up?
Consuls.
Those senators and those consuls, right? Who was the lowly of the group?
Slaves.
The slaves. Who was the largest group? Who made up the largest group?
Plebeians.
Plebeians. Very good. And then we had those patricians. And what do we know about them?
Rich.
They're rich, right? They're just rich. And they're a smaller group. They didn't make up a huge group of people. Charlie. Groups of people. Good. That would be another piece of it. That groups of people within. Groups of people all over the world? Groups of people in Rome. Nice job. Third graders. Today in the read aloud, hands down, you heard that consuls had attribute. I can't even talk. We heard that attributes of being. I cannot talk. We're going to skip this piece right now because I cannot talk. Okay, I have a slide we're going to look at next. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the words that are up here as well. I'll just leave this picture up. I think it's the easiest way to do it. We saw in our reading today, senators, patricians, consuls, plebeians, and slaves, right? I'm going to give you a clue that describes one of these groups. And after I read each one, I want you to tell me who they are. And I am going to switch this because my slide is going to do this better.
Did you take attendance?
A long time ago.
That book is really open.
Sure is. Okay, so I'm going to give you a clue that describes, and your job is you are going to put up a 1 if it's a senator, a 2 if I'm describing a consul, 3 if it's a patrician, 3 if it's a plebeian, and 4 if it's plebeian, 5 if it's a slave. Got it? So you listen and then pay attention to which finger you're going to put up for it, okay? Or how many fingers, I should say. I would like to vote, but I cannot. I would like to vote, but I cannot. Very good. Who can't vote? Slaves. Very good. I am a part of the elite Roman society. Try and do this in your own head rather than watching everybody else's. Who's part of the elite Roman society?
Patricians.
The patricians. Very good. Hands down. I work as a merchant in the forum. Who would work as a merchant in the forum?
2. A 1.
Who's going to work as a merchant? We have a whole bunch. Now, we in our reading, we heard that senators and consuls will give debates at the forum. But did they work as merchants?
No.
Merchants are people who are selling things. Do you think a consul would need to sell things?
No.
Nope. So this is going to be for our plebeians. They're going to be the people who work as merchants at the forum. I have slaves who help make my life very comfortable. Who do you think this would be that would have slaves? Slaves can't have slaves here. Some different pieces in there. So I have slaves to make my life very comfortable. Whose life is comfortable? Think about that one. Patricians. Good, patricians. So we know that it's going to be those patricians. Who else might need slaves to help them with their jobs and their lives? It'd actually be those plebeians. Plebeians had them as well.
Yes.
They're the workers. Now, it's not to say that consuls and senators didn't have them, but probably not as needed. I was once free, but was taken away from my home after losing it in a battle. Who is this?
Slaves.
Those are our slaves. Good. I have the most power in the Senate in the Roman Republic. The most power in the Senate of the Roman Republic. This is our This is our consul. The consuls couldn't make all the decisions unless the Senate helped them, but they still got to make a lot of those decisions in the end. So the Senate would come together and say, hey, this is an issue. These are some ideas. And they would bring it to the consul, and the consul would kind of decide. They couldn't just say, give me money. They had to go through the Senate still. But the consul in the end made the most decisions. Although I make up the majority of the people in Rome, I still do not have all the rights of the elite. This is our plebeians. Very good, that large group. I am a part of a group of 300 men called the Senate. This is a senator. Well, I said it's part of the Senate. The Senate is the group. The senator is going to be the person who's in one of those 300 positions. Is it called a senator? And we know that senators were all what?
Men.
They were all men. Let's see. As a farmer, helping the Roman civilization to be successful, I belong to this group. I have some people not participating. As a farmer, helping Roman citizens, I belong to this group. Our farmers would be plebeian. Yep, the farmers are going to be those plebeians. I sometimes worry that the biggest group in Rome is going to take over my power.
Oh, that's easy.
We think so. This is the patricians. I was taught to read and to count so that I could do my job, but have not received any further education. I am a slave. Great job. Thank you. Third graders, we still need our activity notebooks out. You do not need your readers. You may put your readers away. Activity notebooks out only, please. Let me put it on my back counter for me, Zoe.